You will stop masturbating after you know this. There is a war inside you, a war you have been losing for far too long. It is not waged with swords or shields, nor is it fought on a battlefield of dirt and blood. It is fought in the silence of your own mind, in the depths of your own will. And every time you give in, every time you surrender to your weakest impulses, you are not just losing a battle, you are losing yourself. The Stoics understood this war. They knew that the greatest enemy is not some external force, but the lack of control within. Epictetus, once a slave, became a philosopher who wielded discipline like a weapon. No man is free who is not master of himself, he said, and yet how many of us can truly say we are masters of ourselves? How many of us have allowed fleeting pleasure to become our master? Masturbation is not the issue. It never was. The real problem is what it represents. Weakness, surrender, a lack of control over your own desires. It is a symptom of something deeper, an inability to withstand discomfort, a refusal to face pain, a fear of being alone with oneself. Seneca, a man who advised emperors and stared death in the face, warned of this when he said, "He who indulges in empty pleasures hands himself over to an enemy." Every indulgence, every moment wasted, is another chain around your mind, making you weaker and less capable of facing life's inevitable hardships. You may think this is harmless, that it is a simple pleasure, a moment of relief, an escape from stress. But the Stoics knew better. They understood that every habit you build, every action you take, shapes who you are. We become what we repeatedly do, said Aristotle, whose teachings heavily influenced Stoicism. And what does that mean for you? What does it mean if you repeatedly surrender to your urges, if you let impulse dictate your life? It means you are conditioning yourself to be weak. The truth is brutal, but it must be faced. You are training your mind to avoid struggle, to escape into pleasure whenever discomfort arises. And that is a dangerous habit. Because life is suffering, life is discomfort. Life is filled with trials that demand resilience, strength, and an iron will. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, spent his life battling against not just external enemies, but the weakness within. In his meditations, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." But do you have power over your mind? Or have you surrendered it to fleeting urges? This is not just about stopping. It is about transformation. It is about becoming something greater than you were yesterday. The Stoics did not simply reject pleasure. They saw it as a test of whether you are in control or whether you are controlled. If you cannot resist your most basic urges, how will you ever resist real temptations? How will you ever stand firm when life throws storms your way? The ancient Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort. They would fast. They would expose themselves to the cold. They would sleep on hard ground, not because they had to, but because they understood that comfort breeds weakness. The body obeys the mind, but only if the mind is strong enough to command it. And yet, in our modern world of endless distractions and instant gratification, we have lost this discipline. We have become slaves to our own desires, addicts to our own weakness. The way forward is not complicated. It is brutal, but it is simple. You must reclaim control. You must deny yourself pleasure, not because pleasure is evil, but because discipline is freedom. Every time you resist, every time you choose willpower over weakness, you are sharpening your mind like a blade. You are reforging yourself into something stronger, something unbreakable. Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body, said Seneca. And this is your difficulty. This is your battle. And if you win here, if you can master yourself in this, then there is nothing in this world that you cannot overcome. This is not about guilt. This is not about shame. This is about power, the power to dictate your own life, the power to refuse to be controlled by anything outside of your own reason, the power to be free. So, the next time the urge comes, stop, breathe, look in the mirror and ask yourself, who is in control? The man who surrenders, or the man who stands firm, who resists, who shapes himself into something greater? The choice is yours. The battle is yours. But know this, every time you choose discipline over desire, every time you deny the weakness inside you, you are taking one step closer to the man you were meant to become. And that man does not kneel to his own urges. That man is a warrior, a philosopher, a stoic, a master of himself.